Welcome back to America Decides. Tomorrow is Election Day in America, and it may not come with the pomp and circumstance you'd see in an even-numbered election year, but important statewide elections are being held across the country. CBS News campaign reporter Olivia Rinaldi joins us from one of those states, Virginia. It's actually one of the most closely watched states this cycle. Olivia, welcome. You got a great interview today. You spoke with Virginia Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin aboard his bus about his party's top priority this election cycle. What did he have to say?
Hi, Nancy. Yeah, I had the opportunity earlier today to get on Youngkin's campaign bus and really talk to him about how he's feeling about the elections here tomorrow. He's trying to do something that has never been done before in the post-Roe versus Wade world, which is make abortion a winning argument for Republicans. And he's doing that by being very clear about how he feels about Virginia's 26-week abortion ban here in the state. He wants to change that, and he wants to make that a 15-week proposal. No abortions after that, except in cases of rape, incest, life of the mother, things of that sort. And I asked him how he feels that would play in this state that is typically a battleground. Take a listen here.
Well, just to be clear, I think that we wanted to first make sure that our position was one that everyone could understand. See, remember, just 4 years ago, the liberal progressives who controlled the whole state put forth a bill, and they put it forth every year since, to extend abortion all the way up through and including birth. And paid for by taxpayer money, and no one can forget our former governor's comments. They'll keep a child comfortable while they decide whether the child lives or dies, and that was just so extreme and out of bounds for Virginians. And so as we entered this cycle, I had pulled together leadership and said, I think we should progress a bill that protects life at 15 weeks, where a baby can feel pain, with full exceptions in the case of rape and incest and when the mother's life is at risk. And this is a place that I think Virginians can come together on one of the most difficult topics in the Commonwealth and around the country. This is reasonable. And so we've done exactly that. And I just wanted to make sure people understand what we would deliver. And I am concerned by the fact that the other side, the Democratic candidates have, I think, misled everyone on trying to address the position as something that it's not. It's not a ban. And the candidates that are all running have all agreed this is the bill that they would progress. And so I just think it's really important that Virginians have a clear choice. No limits or reasonable limits. That's the bill that I will sign. That's the one that our Speaker of the House is committed to make sure comes to my desk. And I think Virginians can count on that.
Tomorrow, if you win both chambers of the General Assembly, why not do 6 weeks? Why not go further?
Well, because this is where I think we can bring Virginians together. And I'm a man of my word. And this is what I told people we would do.
You see there, Governor Youngkin told me he's a man of his word. He said 15 weeks. He's staying with 15 weeks, even if it's a blowout election tomorrow and he wins both the Senate and the House of Delegates. He says that he will be sticking with that 15-week proposal. And it'll be interesting to see how that plays exactly in these suburban areas like Richmond, like Northern Virginia, and how women voters will really respond to that. Nancy?
Right, and that's exactly why political strategists from across the country are watching to see if his party can win control, once again, of the state legislature. Because that's the only thing that would give him the ability to change that law. Olivia, you also asked the governor about the war in the Middle East. How did he address that conflict?
Yeah, you know, these will be the first elections held since that October 7th attack by Hamas in Israel, and it'll be notable to see how people are really responding to it. There's been a reckoning across the country of people protesting for a ceasefire, for, you know, a pause, a humanitarian pause, so that people can get in and kind of rescue these hospitals and people who are suffering there. I asked him, you know, does that play here? Does that play in Virginia? It's a smart electorate. These people care about issues going on abroad. So take a listen to what he had to say to that.
We've seen anti-Semitic threats go through the roof. And I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that we're not going to stand for hate and violence in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We have massive coordination now across law enforcement at the state level, the federal level, the local level, on campuses across Virginia. And I also believe it's a chance for us to recognize that the Muslim community is concerned here too. They have fears of backlash, and we want to make sure that all religious groups are protected and there is no room for hate in the Commonwealth of Virginia.
Now, last week, Governor Youngkin signed an executive order preventing anti-Semitism in certain high schools and colleges and asking them to submit a plan and how they would deal with that issue. So he's taking strides to address anti-Semitism, but it's the Muslim backlash, the Palestinian backlash, that will be interesting to see how it plays out tomorrow in Election Day.
Really interesting interview with someone who a lot of GOP donors were hoping would jump into the Republican race for president himself. Olivia Rinaldi, thank you so much.
Thank you, Nancy.